Hello and welcome to the Blackstone Solicitors channel. Today we're diving into a term you've probably heard if you've ever been involved in a construction project, whether large or small. CDM. Now, CDM doesn't refer to a new type of concrete or a fancy architectural style. It stands for the Construction, Design and Management Regulations, and they play a central role in how building projects are run here in England and Wales. It might not sound thrilling at first, but CDM affects everything from how safe workers are on site to how legally secure clients and contractors are when things go wrong. So, if you're involved in construction in any way, whether as a developer, designer, contractor, or client, understanding CDM is crucial. Construction is one of the most hazardous industries in the UK. Heavy machinery, working at height, complex structures, the risks are everywhere. That's why the CDM regulations were introduced, to make sure safety isn't just an afterthought, but baked into every stage of a project. But CDM is about more than just hard hats and high-vis jackets. It's about planning, accountability, and clarity of roles. At its heart, the regulations ask one key question. Has everyone done what they reasonably can to ensure the project is designed, managed, and delivered safely? Let's imagine you're building a new office block. Under CDM, the responsibilities don't just fall on the contractor who turns up with diggers and scaffolding. Right from the start, the client, that might be you, has duties. You need to make sure the people you appoint are competent, that there's a proper plan for health and safety, and that risks are being managed throughout the process. Designers also have duties. An architect can't simply produce stunning drawings and walk away. They have to consider whether their design creates unnecessary risks. For instance, if a particular layout makes future maintenance dangerous, that needs to be addressed. Then there are the contractors. They must plan their work to minimize risk, communicate with everyone else involved, and ensure workers are properly trained and equipped. And finally, there's a role called the principal designer and the principal contractor, two key figures responsible for coordinating safety during the design and construction phases respectively. Think of them as conductors in an orchestra, making sure everyone is playing in harmony rather than in chaos. So far, so straightforward. But as you might imagine, when responsibilities overlap, disputes often arise. A client might argue that a contractor didn't manage risks properly. A contractor might blame a designer for not spotting an issue in the drawings. And if, unfortunately, an accident happens, the health and safety executive may investigate, which can lead to enforcement action, prosecutions, or claims for damages. This is where legal advice becomes vital. The regulations create duties for multiple parties, and failing to understand them can have serious consequences. At Blackstone Solicitors, we often help clients untangle these responsibilities, whether it's reviewing contracts to make sure CDM duties are properly allocated, or advising when disputes and liability claims emerge. Consider a real-world example. A client commissions a small commercial building. The designers fail to consider safe access to a flat roof. Years later, during maintenance, a worker falls and suffers serious injuries. Who's responsible? The designers, for not considering the risks? The client, for not checking the competence of their team? The contractor, for not raising the issue? Under CDM, all of these parties may bear some responsibility, and determining liability can become highly complex. So, what is CDM in construction? It's the legal framework that ensures health, safety, and accountability are central to every project, from design to delivery. It doesn't matter whether you're building a new shopping centre or adding an extension to your home, the principles apply. The key message is this: don't treat CDM as a box-ticking exercise. It's there to protect lives, safeguard projects, and clarify responsibilities. If you're involved in construction, make sure you understand your role and seek expert advice to avoid nasty surprises later down the line. At Blackstone Solicitors, we're here to guide clients, contractors, and developers through the legal landscape of construction, including compliance with CDM. So, if you need advice, don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into construction and property law.